Welcome, everyone, to the Black and White History Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, we're your hosts, Christian and...
Welcome back to the Civil War. We're starting the bottom of the fourth inning. And, it's not looking good for the boys in blue. They're down 9-1 in the fourth inning here. General McClellan just got pulled, and General Pope's coming in as relief. I don't know if it'll work, but anything's better than nothing. I'm Jordan.
Okay, now we can start. We don't officially start till you say your name.
Yeah.
But so we're picking right up, kind of in the middle of the war, basically. And if you haven't seen, make sure to watch our first episode. And then come back.
Watch that first, then come back, then you'll know.
Yeah.
Because we talked about flying bowling balls and coffee cans filled with bullets, and General McClellan being an absolute baby back bitch.
Yep. So that's how we're starting it off.
That's just where we are in the bottom of the fourth of the Civil War.
So yeah, I guess we're just jump right into it this time. What I have down is we have midterms are now coming up.
Yes, midterms are great because, the president gets elected every 4 years, and Congress gets elected the House of Representatives every 4 years, and the Senate's every 6 years. So, but it's staggered, so it's not all at the same time. So the president comes in and usually brings a bunch of people, political term, on his coattails. So people like Lincoln, and he's a Republican. If I like Lincoln, and you're a Republican, and I'm a Republican, we're going to say we like Lincoln too. And everyone who's around us who votes for Lincoln is also going to vote for us because we're all on the red team. We're on the Republican team. And so that's how that works. And then 2 years later, midterms happen. And now we see, you got us into a war.
Yeah.
It's a really big war. You said it was going to be done in 5 minutes. This is 2 years. And we're losing really bad.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be in charge anymore.
This was supposed to just be as no longer than a few months with the first Battle of Bull Run.
We'll be home by Christmas.
About before. And we're doing a part 2 because it went past
spoiler. It's a second Battle of Bull Run.
Yeah. And the third and fourth and fifth, but I think we just have the part 2 of that. Yeah, or the second
Bull
one.
Run 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. But anyway, and that's kind of the catch-all with presidency. And I've mentioned this before, but you're elected. You think you have 4 years, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot of time, but you really only have 2 years. And if you don't make any immediate success, like right off the bat, then you're going to lose your Congress.
Yes.
And then you're basically a lame duck until, the next election,
yes.
basically. So he's running up against that and losing a lot of support from everything we just said. And then we have, second Bull Run.
Second Battle of Bull Run. So at the beginning of the war, Fort Sumter was kind of like technically the first shots fired, but the first battle.
It's like what declared the war.
Yeah.
And then Bull Run was what?
Bull Run was the first actual battle, and then second Battle of Bull Run. So at this point, George McClellan has really showed his true colors as he's not really a go-getter like Lincoln wants. Lincoln really wants this war over. Most people really want this war over, but McClellan is content to technically win, but not push hard enough to take significant ground or finish off Lee. He's very, very passive. So the second Battle of Bull Run is run by General Pope, and he's not much better.
They all kind of have the same, I mentioned this in the part 1, but most of these generals, especially ones that have been around for a long time, have become really inept in this idea of let's just not do a whole lot and let it figure itself out. And so they don't want to charge. They have more troops, they have more supplies, they have more of the people support, and yet they just don't want to take any sort of risks at all, which is kind of a risk in itself.
It is a risk. And, from a leadership tactical standpoint, let's give credit where credit's due, or at least, let's have some empathy and put ourselves in their shoes. So most of these guys are old. They are not young men. I think McClellan was in his 70s.
He was younger.
He was old either way.
Yeah.
He fought in the War of 1812, and that was 58 years ago. So, he's an old man.
George McClellan did?
Yeah. I thought he did.
I know Winfield Scott was one. No, so he was he was a lot younger.
He was kind of like the only...
Oh, so he was like in his 40s.
Yeah, so you had like this rotating people of like, okay, who do we got?
Cut that part.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I was wrong.
Yeah,
I do that
it's fine.
frequently.
You have all these people. Like, who do we got? Winfield Scott. Okay, he's 70 and can't hop on a horse. And you
That's
have
who I
like,
was thinking of.
yeah. Who else we got? And just no one's up to the task really. And so you have the youngest general who gets lobbied into being in this position because he's a really good salesman.
He's a dapper looking gentleman.
He can sell himself into a spot,
Look
but
at
then
that
when he
mustache.
gets there, yeah, when he gets there, no clue what he's doing, and doesn't like Lincoln, can't agree with anything Lincoln is saying or what he wants, and so it's like there's a civil war happening and there's a war of generals with Lincoln that's also happening. So
Yeah, but like I said, let's have some empathy. So, you're a general. Let's say we're McClellan. There's hundreds of thousands of soldiers under our command, and if I say go here and run into this meat grinder, they'll do it. And if I say whatever, they'll go do that. And I don't want to be responsible. My responsibility as a general, as a leader in the military, is to accomplish the mission and not get people killed doing it, and minimize the amount of people killed while doing it. Those are my two main goals. So if I see these kids, I mean, not kids, but like the average age of the soldier is in the like early to mid 20s. So young soldiers, of varying reasons why they're joining. Something is just fun. Some are really down for the cause, whatever. And I see there's 50,000 pissed off Southerners right over there, and they have guns and they have cannons and they want to kill every single one of us and take over our country. At least that's in their mind, but whatever. If I can somehow prevent these guys from dying and also just like wait them out and have them just sort of like desert or run out of food or run out of ammunition, and I don't have to put my guys, my reputation, I don't have that weight on me, I can understand why someone would be more would be less cavalier to just send people out, get killed. Yeah, we might win, but we're going to lose 20,000 people. I can understand that. However, you can really only be timid like that once or twice, and then you realize, okay, we actually have to win this war, which means people will have to die. My job is to not make their deaths meaningless. So if I'm going to go send them and get them killed, we need to take this town. We need to advance the cause and actually get something out of it. McClellan and other generals got a lot of people killed and then didn't do anything with it. Like,
yeah,
it's just bad. So then you start asking, is it cowardice? Do you just not want to fight? Do you not want to put yourself at risk? Is this an ego battle where, well, I'm the general, you're just a politician. Why are you telling me how to run this war? I'm going to do it the way I want to do it, and to hell with what you say. I mean, there's a lot of factors, but at the end of the day, your first objective is to win the war. And if your tactics don't win the war, then you're worse than useless. Now we're spending money and lives to get nothing. So you're done, is basically what Lincoln said. Which leads to the second battle of Bull Run with General Pope. Pope is in the same caliber as McClellan and Winfield Scott. Older class, highfalutin, does more thinking than soldiering. And second battle of Bull Run is a Union loss. It's just, so it's 60,000 to 50,000. It's slight, but they have the number superiority. They get outflanked by the Confederates, and 15,000 soldiers, Union soldiers, die. Well, are casualties. A lot of them die.
yeah,
It's like, at this point, we're like 2.5 years into the war. This is just humiliating at this point. Like, we have tried to take Bull Run not once but twice and lost both times. So it's not good. Yeah, we're down 9-1 in the bottom of the fourth.
yeah,
After the second battle of Bull Run, now we're in the fifth inning, and we have Pope up to bat, and he strikes out. And he worse than strikes out. He grounds out into a double play and ends the inning. Congratulations.
Yeah,
now it's the bottom of the fifth. The bottom of the fifth is Antietam.
yes. So this is a weird one because basically, it's like the umpire was looking the other way. Basically, where you have all these troops, and this is kind of around DC, everything. So we're still in the East.
Yeah.
And these troops walk by and they say, "Hey, there's a cigar. Cool." So they pick it up, and wrapped around the cigar is Robert E. Lee's battle plans for the battle. Yeah, so it's like a scroll.
Would you look at that?
And so, which you would think like, oh, okay, that's an easy win. We barely won. It was really close.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there was a huge amount of casualties, about within total 22,000. I mean, McClellan led in DC with, if you want to say like, well, if it was close, how many troops did they have? Well, McClellan had about 87,000 troops versus Robert E. Lee's 40,000. So he had over twice the amount, and we had their battle plans by mistake, and we still barely won.
Still
So,
basically lost. Like it would be, to keep with the baseball analogy, it would be like instead of having 9 defensive players, you had 25 defensive players, and you knew exactly who was going to hit where because they said it at home plate, and you still almost let it's that amount of ineptitude is almost unbelievable. You could have given it to a 5-year-old, and hey, you have basically unlimited troops and unlimited money, and you know what the other guy's going to do. This is child's play, and he still only barely manages to win.
yeah.
It is horrendous from a tactical standpoint. From a political standpoint, a win's a
A
win.
win's a win.
A win's a win.
Chalk it up for what it's worth.
Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah.
We won, boys. Our cause is just.
So then, Lincoln fires McClellan, and right after that battle, and replaces him the new commanding general, which is Ambrose Burnside, who is kind of in a similar boat where he's not that experienced in actually commanding an army and everything. So I kind of already see where it's going to go from there.
Well, no, this will be great. This will be great. You know, we got out of the 5th inning. Now we're in the 6th inning, and with General Burnside at Fredericksburg.
Yep.
And again, it's kind of a similar thing. Like the Union has 100
And we're like, so it's December 62, basically, just to give a...
So
an idea of where we're at.
we're about halfway, a little over halfway through the war. They don't know that, but we do. So General Burnside, it's Burnside versus Lee. Lee is now very, like, he always kind of was, but like now is very prominently the guy.
Yeah.
If Lee touches it, it's gonna be a W, or something crazy happened and Lee lost, but Lee's the guy for the Confederacy. Burnside comes in. It's December in Virginia, which is cold. It's cold. It snows. It's not great weather. Now the wool uniforms make sense. Not in the summertime, but in the winter, sure. The Union has about 120,000 soldiers, and the Confederates have like 75,000. So not quite double, but plenty. Plenty to handily wrap this up. It's going to be fine. And if you can't tell from my tone, it was not fine. It was not fine at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's the middle of winter, or I guess, winter's approaching, I guess. It's really cold. River that you have to get across in order to get to the battle. And he had a bunch of pontoon bridges that he wanted to... There's some conflicting things of, did he drop the ball on this, or was it someone else? I don't know. But basically...
You're the general. The buck stops with you.
Sure. He wanted a bunch of pontoon bridges to lay across the river so the Union troops could run across. And they didn't get there on time. And so as they're all sitting there waiting, the Confederacy has enough time to get their defensive parts ready. And so by the time they show up, they're already well equipped to handle it, basically.
Yeah. Warfighting 101. Don't, unless you can help it, don't attack a fixed defensive position. Because if you didn't see the first episode, very briefly, this isn't like musket balls that kind of just shoot randomly and you're only good for 100 yards. We have like rifles that spin bullets and make them accurate. We've got cannons that now are made of different materials, so they're easier to move around. They're lighter to move around. They shoot 12-pound solid cannonballs that skip at a 700 miles an hour, and they travel at like knee height and just mow people down. They put coffee cans full of lead shot in those, and they're like cannon shotguns that shoot for 200 yards. It's crazy. So don't attack a fixed defensive position, especially if they know that you're coming, right. Because what they'll do is they'll say, so we're here, they're over there. Once they get past this line here, they're about 400 yards away, so we can use these cannons that shoot 400 yards. And now they cross this line, if by some miracle they do. Now we can use the shotgun rounds because they're 200 yards away, and they're in range of our rifles, and they're still 200 freaking yards away from us. We're just going to pour fire on them until they all die or they run away. And that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
The Union took like 13,000 casualties to the Confederates like 6,000, which still, again, 20,000 people. in a day. But like if it's that lopsided,
Right.
that for some freaking pontoon bridges. Like, hey, General Burnside, the bridges aren't here. Should we maybe not like stand here? Should we
Right.
maybe do something? You know, we can cross a river. Could we do something? No, no. Wait for the bridges. It's just
And the Confederates are like, okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, here's what we got. So let's just build
Okay.
enough retaining walls to stop them. When
perfect.
they
Shoot
show up.
them. Shoot them all. And they did. It's not. Again, it highlights Lee's because Lee was an engineer for the army, and so he understood defensive fortifications. And like you'll see as we get closer to the end of the war, they are starting to realize that like the old school tactics of just sort of like standing there and just walking up to them and then doing a bayonet charge or even having people on horses come through and charge through, that's not going to work because I can see you and I can shoot you way before you get close to me. So like digging trenches or earthwork barriers and fortifications to slow people down as they're approaching, funnel them into areas where you have your artillery pieces pre-ranged and sighted in for that area. That's kind of where this is going, and Lee was ahead of the curve on that, so it cost the Union a lot of people that just kept running, just pour human death and suffering at it until we win. And we didn't have enough human death and suffering to do it.
Yeah.
Sure tried, though.
Well, on the lighter note,
Yeah.
we can go back to Grant.
Hooray! Finally, the adults
The
in the
only
room.
the only bright spot, Brant and General Sherman. It's funny because they were really good. They were both from Ohio, and so it's just kind of this
Not much
perfect-
good out of Ohio since
Yeah.
then, but you know.
Yeah.
Suck it, Ohio.
Hey, we'll see how Vivek does running for governor.
Good God. Anyways.
No, but so they are continuing. They're basically just the unsung heroes, and they keep getting these little small wins and everything, and including kind of a bigger battle. This goes on for like a couple months, basically, or a month and a half or so. The Battle of Vicksburg. So now we're into 63 now. Grant, he's like I said, more on the west, so around Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Mississippi, kind of those areas. He ends up actually doing pretty well. So
I'd say.
yeah. So he's on the Mississippi River. This is Vicksburg, Mississippi. And the idea, obviously, through here is the Mississippi River. And so there's kind of this plan of if we can secure the river, we can cut off so much of the Confederacy because you have Texas on the other side and like Arkansas and everything. But also, we haven't really mentioned this a ton, but the Union has to rely so much on like ports and railroads and like rivers with naval ships and things like that. And so the Confederacy doesn't. They can kind of travel just through fields and through woods and stuff, but the Union has to kind of be close enough to railroad tracks and everything where that's kind of where they get all their supplies and everything from. And so having this river would be a huge bonus to all of that. And so that's kind of the idea of this battle in Vicksburg.
Yeah, the Union's infrastructure was their like one of their key pieces, but it was also a weakness because they have to stay close to it.
Right, yeah.
You can't go too far away from the things that are going to get you the supplies that will get you to the next battle. And the South didn't have much to begin with, and they could just bring it with them or forage from, the fields and places that were around them.
Yeah.
They weren't as constrained by logistics, but the Mississippi River is big for everyone, and it cuts the Confederacy off. Now you have to cross this big old river with a whole bunch of enemies with guns on it. Like it's a done deal.
So yeah, I mean, luckily, the Mississippi River goes to the ocean. So there's this idea where Grant tries to get all these, and successfully, I should add, that all these naval ships up the river in order to take over, basically the whole strip, basically. So that's probably his most important win at this point in the war. I'm trying to think. I mean, Shiloh had a lot of troops involved and everything, but I think for logistics wise and just to foresee the future of
It was
everything.
a massive strategic victory.
Yeah. So obviously Sherman is with him as well. So so yeah, that kind of really actually kind of triples his XP.
It does.
It's a
massive. It's a massive. Number one, just a victory. He takes like almost 80,000 soldiers, and basically he captures Vicksburg by sieging it. So this is like old school. Basically, everyone knows what a siege is, but if you don't, like I said, everything needs food and water and supplies to live. If you can surround a town, like they did this in medieval times, well, they've always done it. It's a human thing. If you can surround an area and prevent people from entering or exiting and prevent supplies from getting in to help them, eventually they will just starve and probably give up. And that's exactly what he did. So, like, this is another thing. This is where like casualty counts are difficult because like 30,000 Confederates surrendered. They didn't all die.
Yeah.
But like in the casualties, they're out of the war.
Yeah.
It was, 30,000 to 5,000. And it also gave, like you said, the XP boost of Lincoln sees this. Oh, Grant took a superior force, more than double, just like McClellan had. And he actually did something smart with it and won. And didn't get a bunch of his own people killed. This is good. This is good. This is very good. So it definitely puts him much more prominently in the zeitgeist of who should run this war.
Yeah. Doesn't quite get the title yet.
Not yet, but it's a good start.
It's getting there.
It's a good start.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned the casualty thing. This is, I guess it would also count in terms of missing people deserting.
Yeah.
And that started to snowball a lot more around this time too. There were tons of people deserting because, and there's people who would desert, but then they would go back and re-enlist. And I know with the North, Lincoln had the setup to where you would get
bounties.
Yeah, bounties. Yeah, so we haven't talked
like
about
a signing bonus.
Yeah, basically a signing bonus. And so people would go and be like, "Oh yeah, here I am. I'm ready to go." And then they would like fight like one battle, then they would take off, and then they would re-enlist, try to get another signing bonus and game the system and everything. So that was happening a lot. So yeah, many people who deserted would come back, but it probably wasn't for the greatest reasons.
If I'm gonna get shot at, I'm gonna be well paid for it.
Yeah.
And, I don't blame them for that. I mean, they're cowards and turncoats and traitors, but at least you get payday.
And it's kind of what you get when we need farmers to show up.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
We got farmers and old people, and now freed slaves.
Now we have freed slaves.
Go 54th Massachusetts.
Yes. So, like we said before with Frederick Douglass, he's really campaigning hard on Lincoln being able to allow black people to enlist. And at this point, the 13th Amendment has been proposed. So if, it's right in the forefront, basically, of the war. People still have their reasons for it and all that kind of stuff. But this ends up being, it was about 10% of the Union's roster. Ends up, increasing about 10%. So
it was like 100.
It was about 200,000 troops, basically enlisted.
190,000.
Which, if you haven't seen the movie Glory, I watched it today.
Did you?
I was like, I want to get into the Civil War spirit.
It's a good movie, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, I mean it was on both our lists for our top 10 war.
Yes, it's a great movie. I do like Frederick Douglass makes an appearance. He's like, I'm Frederick Douglass. Goodbye.
Just leaves.
Robert, have you met Frederick Douglass?
Mr. Douglas.
Okay, so then Lincoln, at the same time this happens, Lincoln fires General Burnside, Ambrose Burnside, and replaces him with, not Grant, Joseph Hooker.
Great name.
Yeah.
Great name.
Did you have Battle of Chancellorsville?
Chancellorsville? Is it Texas?
Should be Virginia.
Yes, Hooker. Again, another almost doubling up, and not a Union victory. However, Stonewall Jackson, doesn't he have his arm blown off?
Yeah, so
I heard his arm has its own headstone.
Oh, I'll pull up a picture if that's true. I didn't know that. A couple things happen. So yes, I guess the more important thing, Stonewall Jackson ends up, he's like riding on a horse, and Confederate soldiers can't recognize who he is, and they think he's a Union officer, so they end up just blasting him away.
Jim Bob, who's that in the fog? I don't know. It must be it must be one of them blues. Yeah. All the way down here at 2:00 in the morning, right directly into our camp.
Like in the middle of the night.
I don't know. Shoot him. Yeah. Oh no, it was General Jackson. We're screwed.
He dies like a week later. But yeah, it's one of the top generals in the whole army, in the whole war, ends up getting killed by his own people. So
yes,
what a way to go.
Friendly fire is not friendly.
But then how they won the battle itself, though, was Lee, he had less troops, so he split them up into two smaller troops. There was a lot of flanking and stuff going on, and so, which Grant catches onto in a really good way later on. But until then, that's how they won, basically.
And again, we'll nerd out on tactics. like, remember that whole thing about the exploding bowling balls? You don't want to stand in front of those. If the army is here and all your guns are pointed this way, the line can't extend forever. It has to have an end. Your job as a defender is to pick where the end is and make everything over there difficult to like traverse. So like make the end a mountain or a really big forest or a body of water so they can't just go around you. Because unless you just want to throw people into the meat grinder, you're going to have to maybe attack the front and then these guys will sneak around and now hit you from the side where none of your guns are pointing. And that'll freak these guys out and they'll run. Now these guys who are in the middle have an opening to get in and do the whole thing. So flanking is a very old tactic, strangely not employed very well by the Union up to this point. But Lee is like, hey, why walk into death? Why not like walk around it and put some down of your own? So yeah, Lee is a smart person. He's a smart guy. You have to give him credit. He ran this war and did very, very well.
Yeah, and he's starting to push up more north now, and so I guess we should get to Gettysburg
Yeah, we'll go to
as
Gettysburg.
well. So Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. So this is about as far north that Lee ends up making it, and it's against General Meade. Which did you end up watching the Gettysburg?
No, I didn't have the stomach for it. I should have, because I believe you when you say it's good. I'm sure it looks like it has a lot of good people in it. But yeah, it's a 3-day battle, July 1st through the 3rd.
It's also a 3-day movie. So
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it. If a movie has commercial breaks, you know it's not. Yeah, it's the Union has 97,000, and generally has 71,000. We're seeing this as a theme where the Confederacy is almost always very, very much outnumbered.
Yeah, well, and this is kind of especially at this point because this has been going on a couple of years now. If supplies were running low before, they especially are now. I mean, it's getting really down to like the razor's edge, and so this is one of those things where if Lee wins this battle, then the war's they need this to actually win the war. And then if the Union wins, it won't end the war, but it'll they have enough to keep surviving.
Yeah, they need some momentum.
So that's kind of the plot of the
Yes.
of this battle.
We're in the 7th inning now.
Yeah.
It's getting to the end game, and the Union has been able to battle back. They're not leading yet, but they are within tying distance. So you want to bury them at this juncture and make it impossible for them to win going forward, and it doesn't happen. The Union wins this battle. I do want to highlight on the 3rd day. It's like a if you get into Civil War history, you'll see like there's the battle, and then there's little mini battles that are like really notorious for specific generals, or like way back. I think it was like either Antietam or something like that. There's a battle of like Burnside's Bridge where he was involved, and whatever. It's like those kind of epic stories. So this is another epic story, but in a bad way for the Confederacy, is Pickett's Charge. And so, again, remember I just said, like, you don't want to run straight into the center of where everyone's guns are. The Confederate, I think it was a general, Pickett,
Yeah.
he takes 13,000 soldiers, and he's like, we're just going to run it up the gut. Half-back drive. We're just going straight up the gut. And all the Union soldiers are like, there's no way that he's going to just run, because Pickett's Charge, it's hundreds of yards of open field separated by fences that these guys now have to climb over while getting shot at, while out of range of shooting at these guys who are above them. Like, it's basically a suicide run. Like, there's no way that any sane person would want to do this, let alone actually do it. They did it, and they took like 50, like their unit took 50% casualties. And like, it's bad enough. So like the word decimate is to reduce by 10%.
Okay.
So if you have 10 people and take out one person, you've decimated the unit. So 10-20% casualties is very, very high. 50% is catastrophic.
We're getting close to genocide territory.
It is catastrophic. I think it was a regiment or whatever, but it is absolutely catastrophic. And so Pickett's Charge, and the Confederates try to spin it as like, look at how brave these boys are, and they're just running straight into the teeth of those northern aggressors. And the Union's like, what a bunch of freaking idiots. That didn't work at all. That was never going to work. Like, what are you doing? but it also shows like a little bit of desperation. Like, we need to win this one. We don't have the supplies to do this for another 3 years. We need to win. And they picked that was the wrong thing to do.
This was during Gettysburg?
This was the last day of Gettysburg.
Okay. Yeah, I know one thing, we mentioned that the flanking stuff is really good battle tactic that the Union was able to retort with was, of course, the Confederates started to do the flanking system, and they did this Napoleonic strategy where you focus on where the flanks are at, and so you undo the circle a bit and put them back into a straight line, and then you push forward again, and so that, I know that was like a big turning point basically with that.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting to see across the battles how the tactics evolve to respond to they're going to do this, so we're going to do this. There's
They did that, and they're like, wow, we should have been doing that the whole time.
why are we doing that at Bull Run?
Yeah.
We'll touch on it, but Grant, I can't remember what battle it was. It might have been in one of his campaigns in the South, where you'll just get into kind of like a feedback loop of, you'll have a line, the enemy will flank, you'll adjust your flank, like doing that, or you can even set up a false flank with, oh, these guys here, they look weak, but behind them is another force, so when they do flank, now we'll hit them. So you'll flank, you'll adjust, you'll push forward, they'll flank, you'll adjust, and go back and forth over and over and over again. Then it's like a real battle of attrition. Can we force the flank and break through their reformation, or just kill enough of them that they don't have enough people to make a good flank, so they have to just retreat? But that wasn't initially. They just sort of like smashed each other and didn't work. So we're getting more sophisticated.
It's the end of the war. We're starting to figure it out.
Yeah, 100,000 people had to die for it, but we're figuring it out. Like, don't just run into the cannons.
So yeah, of course, it's the bloodiest battle on American soil.
Yeah,
in history. So
it's like 50,000 combined casualties. So like the last bloodiest one was it Shiloh or Antietam?
Oh, beforehand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Shiloh.
Shiloh. So Shiloh was 20. This was 50. It's just like, I can't, and we throw out these numbers, but like, how many people does Westfield hold? Like 53,000 people?
Yeah, I mean, any stadium.
Any state, like
60, 70,000.
Yeah.
So if you think of that,
those people are dead.
Just go to a stadium and do one loop around
Yeah.
and be like, wow, that's how many casualties this one battle.
This one battle, like late in the war, it's just catastrophic. It's horrible. Like that, like I can't emphasize, like when I was researching, I'm like, this is just horrendous. There's no way. And I feel like they just sort of got locked into it at this point. Like, we have to win. Both sides, like, we have to win. Otherwise, this is just for nothing. But like, when you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. It's bad enough when a person does that themselves. It's worse when a whole, like, leaders do that with other people's lives.
Yeah.
Like what are we doing? Like, that's enough. No, we still got another year.
Right. Yeah. And even after this, so this was it was, like I said, it came down to this, at least if the Confederacy won. So we win this, and then if you have Chickamauga is the next battle. So that's only like a 2-day affair.
Down in Georgia.
Which we ended up
Fort
basically
Bragg is
losing
named after him.
that. Oh, really? Okay. So we lose that one. So Chickamauga, so now we're in, more West Side Georgia stuff. We kind of get pushed back up to Tennessee, and I didn't put any casualties on that one, but I know that one was like a really heavy.
It was combined about 40,000.
Okay, yeah. So it's just insane, like how many people died during, or just at least, were part of they're just injured, pulled out of war. Over this.
Yeah, I have like kind of a running. So after Chickamauga, like the total for the Union casualties is like 140,000. For the Confederacy, it's about 170,000. So like 300,000 casualties, and this is still 1863. We have another year of war to go, and we're already at almost 500,000 people. And that's just like military people. That's not civilians. That's not anything else. Like the scope of this, like how bad it was. Anyways.
So basically, if you kind of just look at the East and the West of the war, it's like almost always, aside from a couple really, really freaking important ones, Union's winning on the East. Other than that, it's all losses. In the West, it's basically the opposite. It's like mostly wins with, the couple here and there
Yeah.
that we needed or whatever. But we've secured the Mississippi River, and we've done all the small battles
Yeah.
that we've won thanks to Ulysses S. Grant.
Ulysses S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unconditional surrender. Nickname.
That's a good nickname. So now Grant is now the guy.
Yeah. So after this, Lincoln takes out, who was it? Yeah, that's Hooker. So, yeah, I've like lost track
I
at
almost
this
said
point.
Burnside. No, he's out.
no.
It's Hooker.
So now he takes out Hooker and brings in Ulysses S. Grant as now the commanding general. So now we can start cooking.
Now it's on.
Yeah.
It's an 8th inning rally, baby. Yeah.
And now it's really Grant versus Lee.
Yes.
So this is kind of like what the war, like everyone kind of knows about. It doesn't happen until the last 20% of it.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, yeah. So it's really 1864 is when Grant fully establishes Grant and Sherman really establish themselves as the battle doctrine changes for the Union at this point. The Union strategy has been let the South just sort of go. They'll tire themselves out. And Grant was like, no, we are not taking another step backwards.
Yeah.
We will throw as many soldiers as it takes to crush them. And it's interesting if you think of like that as his battle strategy and kind of juxtapose that $10 after work. Juxtapose that with Lincoln's like thinking about Reconstruction. He doesn't want to destroy the people. He wants to preserve the Union. But Grant's like, yeah, that's nice. There's 100,000 plus people out here who need shooting. So we're just going to go do that. So Grant starts like it's like a 6-8 month campaign. It's called the Overland Campaign. There's a bunch of battles in there. But he basically just sort of marches down.
Yeah, he's basically just pushing Lee further south, little by little. Yeah, through the course of
Yeah. So like Wilderness, Spotsylvania. One that is interesting. So remember Pickett's.
Gettysburg.
Yeah. Remember Pickett's charge, where like it was a stupid thing to just run up the middle. Grant. So okay, Grant kind of he didn't copy him. Like flanking is a thing, but he sort of mirrored and like, okay, we're not going to go up the front. We're going to flank. He had started to become known for flanking. So now Lee is anticipating that they won't centrally attack, or if they do, it's like a bluff. They're going to really do the flanks. So we're going to fortify the flanks because we know that's where Grant is coming. So at Cold Harbor, this is in like the summer of 1864. At Cold Harbor, Grant says, okay, I've been doing the flanking maneuver for like a year now. They know that that's like my signature move. So if instead of flanking, I just straight up the gut, they won't be ready for it, and we can break through and really give it to them. And that was an absolute that was a miscalculation. Turns out there's still people with guns pointing forward. So yeah, march as many people as you want up there. These guys are still, and remember, you can move people from the flanks and commit them to the center if it's clear that you're not flanking, you're just trying to come up the gut. So Grant tries a little juke. Instead of flanking, he goes straight down the middle, and he loses 12,000 soldiers. It's like a reverse Pickett's charge.
Yeah.
Grant he said, one of my biggest wishes is that I never did that last charge at Cold Harbor, because it was just as catastrophic as Pickett's charge was how catastrophic this was. And, if you're used to winning,
Right.
and then you lose big like that, that's bad. And also, like, he's a human person. Like, I gambled with these people's lives, and I lost. And I'm still alive, and they're just blown up. So, yeah. But in general, the Overland Campaign works. He just
he
pushes
goes
them
down south past Richland, or Richmond, sorry.
Take that, Pasco.
Yeah. And into Petersburg, and basically takes over the whole city there.
Yes, he sieges Petersburg. It's 125,000 soldiers surrounding Petersburg with 50,000 Confederates. And did you read about the crater?
No.
Oh, it was a big old explosion.
Oh, okay. I missed that one.
Yeah, it's a little foggy, but I remember hearing about it because it was cool. Like they have fortifications, it's siege, and you can either just wait people out and let them starve, or you can kind of dig under their fortifications, and it's called undermining. So you can dig under their fortifications, pop up on the other side, send all your guys through, and oh no, they're in our base. another thing you can do is kind of dig a hole around there, put a bunch of explosives in it, and blow the wall up. They did that, except they put way more explosives than they needed to in there. And when they lit it off, it blew a massive,
dang.
huge crater in that, and it was just too big. So
That was at Petersburg?
that was at
Oh, okay.
Gettysburg.
Fun fact.
But like they were not expecting the explosion to be that big.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh my god!"
Is that crater still there?
Oh, no, I think it filled in.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Actually, I didn't look it up.
If it is.
Put a picture up. I don't know.
If it's there.
If it's there.
Otherwise, it'll just be a city.
No, it's just Petersburg. It's like, what, you thought we kept the big hole?
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's a cool hole. Yeah, but we lost. Oh, whatever. So,
So yeah, at the same time, this Sherman is also taking over
Atlanta.
which at the time wasn't as big as it is now. It was like the third or fourth biggest city.
Hotlanta.
Yeah, but it was a big railroad hub. So again, just trying to get those ports and those railroad stations. And so if you notice, we're moving further south now. So it's
Like, we're very
definitely-
far south.
Yeah, we are gaining much needed traction.
Yes. So that leads us through the winter with Sherman's March to the Sea, which are smaller skirmishes and stuff. You know, just a couple thousand people. But February, so late winter into spring, they're taking on the Carolinas and really trying to just mop up because the big prize is Richmond. And at this point, the Confederacy is basically done.
Yeah.
They don't have any supplies. They don't have hardly any troops. People are deserting. It's not good. And, you know, Grant just marched 100,000 people to,
Yeah.
like, what are we going to do here? We don't have food. We can't do it anymore. So they take Petersburg, where that big old crater was. They take Richmond. And the last battles in early April, like the last battle, is at Appomattox Courthouse. And it's just more.
Well, Jefferson Davis at this point, who's the president of the Confederacy,
Oh, he's long gone.
He just deserts. So he gets a note while he's in church where he's told, "Hey, we just need to get out of here." So he just flees, and all the remaining, except for Lee, basically just take off.
Yeah.
And then Appomattox.
Yeah. So Appomattox, it's another route. At this point, if you lose a war at this point, like if you're the Union, something's wrong. But they didn't. So yeah, Appomattox Courthouse is really the end of the war. So that's in early April. I think it's like the 7th or the 8th or the 9th or something like that. And then like a week later, General Lee surrenders to General Grant at Appomattox Courthouse, a complete and unconditional surrender.
Yep. And he says, he tells him he's going to go up and meet with Grant. He says, "I'd rather die 1,000 deaths before I do that."
But he didn't.
But he
He went.
And there was, he was fully pardoned, and
Yeah.
that was kind of the, if you saw our Lincoln movie review, we get into that a little bit, but just how Abraham Lincoln and Grant too, they just wanted to, you know what, it's done. Let's just shake on it.
Yeah.
And let's bring everyone back
Yeah.
together.
So yeah, a ninth inning miracle. The Union pulls it out, despite bad generals.
On April 9th.
April
was
9th.
when that happened.
Okay, so yeah, the Union wins. Spoiler. So yeah, I mean, final casualty counts are, they're terrible. With like disease and non-combat casualties, you're looking at almost more than 1 million total casualties, like military, civilian, combat, non-combat. It is a catastrophic war.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, we didn't maybe mention, but I think it was Sherman that goes down and just completely demolishes
oh yes,
the whole South.
yes,
Which I saw a quote that Lincoln said he didn't know exactly how that was going to go. He said that, I know Sherman crawled in a hole down somewhere, but I don't know what hole he's going to pop up in, and goes through and lights the whole city, all this major cities on fire.
destroys
and burns
their
down.
infrastructure.
Yeah, so then hence the upcoming Reconstruction. So it's not just a metaphor.
no, and again, like I said at the beginning, like war is a terrible, terrible, nasty thing. But if your entire goal is to win the war, then you're gonna do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have to destroy your rail system. I have to destroy your food stores. I have to, because if you don't have anything to make war against me, you just don't have the facilities to do it. I don't have to kill you. You'll give up. And they did both, but that's kind of what Sherman did. It's like, you're never going to be able to make war on us ever again. And so far they haven't.
It's true.
So far, the South will rise again. I don't know from where, with what, but
Do you think does Robert E. Lee, is his legacy, does Robert E. Lee deserve to have a legacy?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Because he was like the first monument to be basically taken down. Not basically, literally.
yeah, taken down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. I think, like, I'm not gonna put him up like Erwin Rommel or anything like that, but like, his job was to win the war. His job was to lead troops, make good tactical decisions, and win the war for his side. In that endeavor, he excelled. He was a brilliant general and strategist. Yeah, he was a statesman in that he was an American, but he fought for his home state. Like, they wanted Lee to be a Union general, and he said, "Nope,
Yeah.
I'm from Virginia, so I will fight for Virginia."
And it was only because the South decided to secede.
Yeah, he wasn't like, "I love slaves, I would never
Yeah.
join you." He's like, "Virginia seceded. I'm from there. That's where I'm going." Yeah, I think it's an unsophisticated opinion, and an opinion without nuance or knowledge of what this person was supposed to be doing, like what they are famous for, to be like, South bad, anything South is bad. Like, we need to rename Fort Bragg because it was named after a Confederate general, and that's bad. It's like, you know what?
What are we supposed to do about it now?
What are you going to do about it now? Like, it did happen.
Yeah.
It happened. And objectively, he was a good general.
Right.
He fought for the side that lost. He fought for, like, we would not agree on politics for sure. But, like, if his job was to win the war, he got really, really close several times. Like, what? Yeah, he needs to be remembered for that for sure.
Yeah. I think it's kind of one of those. They're not bad, they're misunderstood, and I usually hate that kind of thing. But if you look at real people like that and you just don't really know much of the history of how they grew up and what they were actually standing for, and not just boiling it down to a black and white kind of way, it's easy to just justify, oh, this person was a traitor, this was a, you know. I don't know if I'd say the same thing for, like, Jefferson Davis.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
but
yeah, Jefferson Davis might be different because he was like, it was a full political thing. So
Yeah,
like all
right.
the baggage associated with like the political decision to secede and the reasons for that, like, yeah, they hang on you. And also your actual conduct, like you fled.
yeah,
Like, you weren't
Right.
there to, like, you left.
Lee actually showed up
He was there.
and surrendered.
He
and
took
did
his
the-
lumps.
He did the right thing.
He did. He did the honorable thing. And what you do with honorable people, you honor them. Even if they do things that you don't like or agree with, you have to look at them as a whole. Like, if anyone takes a snapshot of my life, different people with different opinions 150 years from now will think I'm a very different person than I actually was to the people who are around me. Like, it's hard to judge someone in hindsight based on your own characteristics and your own values of what, well, I only like people who do ABC and he did XYZ 150 years ago in a completely different time and place for a completely different reason. Like, it's not fair to just throw the baby out with the bathwater like that. He needs his props. He did a good job. He almost won. Like, he should get that legacy. We should know fully what happened.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, we did it. This was a tentpole episode.
Well, we'll see you in World War One. That's gonna be a
yeah.
5-parter.
No, we got Andrew Johnson next. We're not out of the weeds yet.
No, can we
But-
just skip it?
Yeah. On our quest to review
Review America.
yeah, every president and every major conflict. I guess. So,
4 stars. You know,
yeah,
would retain citizenship.
but okay, I think we've gone as long as we can muster.
There's
before
no
you-
other battles.
Yeah.
1 million people died. What
Yeah.
more do you want?
Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Ciao.